justice and peace and equality.
Game Changers Magazine, Game Changers Media Network, Voices of the Village podcast, where change starts with conversation. And we're back with the mayor of Stockbridge. What community connects?
What community connects?
Come on, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you,
man, Anthony Ford. Man, Anthony Ford, how you doing, man?
I'm just fine. Life is good.
Good, man. I know we talked about some of the things that's going on in the city of Stockbridge. Stockbridge is growing. Bridges at Jodico, ViStar Amphitheater, economic development on Eagles Landing, all of that. Public safety, all of that. Now you're re-running for election.
I am. I'm up for re-election. I actually qualified on Monday.
Okay.
And so the election is November 4th, and so yes, I'm running for another four-year term.
Okay.
And there's no term limits, but it's up to the citizens to obviously support me and put me back in. Hopefully,
Right.
I've been doing a good job for them. And they say, okay, we'll give you 4 more years.
Okay.
And we'll go from there and see how it shakes out.
Okay, why Mayor Anthony Ford another 4 years?
Well, I think what it is for the last 8 years that I've been mayor, I think we've done some great progress, great things in the city itself, and continue to grow and expand.
Okay.
And so, and there are things that I personally like to see all the way through as we continue to grow. But I hope that the citizenry and individuals that vote. That will say, listen, I like what's been happening in the last 8 years with you and the rest of the legislative body.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
Okay.
We're making some movements, whether it's economic improvement, tax relief,
Okay.
the new businesses coming to the area, the growth of the amphitheater itself, and what's been happening with that entertainment venue, continued growth of Bridges of Jodico, working on the infrastructure of our roads and network here, and the growth that's going around, allowing better and more, housing options for individuals as well.
Okay.
And continue to grow with all the things that the city does, all the activities we have. We have a lot of different city-sponsored activities in our downtown area, and try to, hopefully they enjoy what's happening, and they want that to continue to flow.
Okay.
And so I'm hoping that they say, okay, Mayor Ford, we'll give you 4 more years. And then we'll see how things flow and try to improve and make things even better. That's the intent. Try to make it even better.
Okay. Now, of course, I know you have challenges in the race, and anybody can run because it's America and all of that. And what? Let me ask you this: How are you reaching young people? Because I know. It seems like the city of Stockbridge just put together a youth council.
Yeah, we have a Stockbridge Youth Council, and actually, by being blessed, I'm the individual that gets a chance to swear them in, and swear them into their office and for that year. And we've had the Youth Council does a lot of different things, interrelates with the council and myself on a lot of different activities and city events as well.
Okay.
And so, and I tell you what I have every month.
Okay.
Ms. Mallard, is that I have Meet the Mayor.
Okay.
And my Meet the Mayor typically also the last Monday of the month, typically. It may go to a Tuesday, depending if there's a federal holiday going on. But what it amounts to, I allot 2 hours on this time frame, 15-minute increments for anybody.
Wow.
Anybody to come and talk to me about anything that's on their mind, no matter what it is.
Okay.
Now, even though I have that time frame, I still make myself available all during the course of the month for any type of conversations I need to have. All they have to do is call me, email me, or call to my assistant, which is Rosalind Rawls.
Okay.
Let her know. Make sure I'm going to be in City Hall, and you can come talk to me about anything that's on your mind, any issues, concerns that you may have, and it can be more than 15 minutes. My time frame on Meet the Mayor is 15-minute blocks, provided I have it all filled up.
Okay.
If not, it may span. But during the course of the week, it can be as long as time's available.
Okay.
You see, so I keep an open door. My door is open when I have that conversations.
Right.
So anybody at any time, no matter who you are, old, young, doesn't matter. If you got an issue, concern, if you want to talk with me directly, I make myself available to do so.
Man, so you said that you actually sit down. I did not even know that, Mayor. You actually sit down with your constituents, people that you work with, and you take 15 minutes out of your time to educate people or inform people.
Whatever's on their mind. Whatever's on their mind. Whatever they got. I mean, they could have a business opportunity. May have to direct them somewhere to talk to some other director about that. They may have some concerns about something that's happening in the community.
Okay.
There may be some other issues and concerns that just have period about how the city is being operated.
Okay.
They may have a direct concern about me specifically.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have that dialogue. You can talk to me anytime. I don't mind talking, and Will talk with anybody at any time, provided we can have a decent conversation. You know what I mean?
Right,
And we may not agree. We may not always agree.
Correct.
And we can agree to disagree.
Correct.
But my point of it is, if we can have a logical conversation, talk about what's on your mind,
Right.
I'm willing to have the conversation.
Absolutely.
And whether during the meet the mayor time frame or any time during the course of the week, we set up an appointment. It doesn't bother me. I
Right.
do that all the time.
Right.
I make myself accessible to anybody at any time. We just got to be, respectful of each other and the time and effort, and have listen and learn and try to have some good dialogue.
Right. Now of course we all have haters out there. We have lovers and haters, and it's some pushback on the internet where people feel like what a young guy was advocating. He asked for a open records request and it cost him $13,000 or something like that. Why? Let me ask you this. How do you respond to a guy who gives those type? I don't know if they were facts. He said he did his research. How do you respond to somebody? Does he get time? Because it seems like he was shut down in the meeting. Was he not speaking at the right time, or what happened?
A couple things here. One is that if you got a request, open records request,
Okay.
that goes to the clerk's office. All right.
Okay.
And so they will provide you the information you need.
Okay.
Legally, they have to do that. Now there's a certain, and I can't remember what the threshold is. There's a certain amount. If you have an open records request and it's a whole lot of data and information, there is a
Okay.
cost factor involved in that.
Okay.
I don't control that cost factor per se.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But there's a cost factor involved in that. And so whatever that cost factor is, they let you know what it is, because it takes time out of the staff's day to gather up material and also to print out everything. Okay. And that's one thing in that aspect. Now, when it comes to meeting with B, all right, if it depends, as I mentioned, meet the mayor, there's 15-minute blocks.
Right.
And that depends if there's how many people I got lined up. Anytime during a week, as long as I'm in the office and it can be coordinated, it can be 15 minutes, it could be an hour. It depends on what's happening.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Now, if you're talking about at a meeting when we have public hearings or public conversation, meeting is set aside for 3 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. 3 minutes is what we set aside. Now, there is possible that an individual may get more than 3 minutes. I
Right.
look to my left and right to see if the council wants to give anybody any additional time.
Okay.
And they say give additional time, we get additional time. If the council says no, I don't want to give any additional time, and I have a simple majority that
Okay.
says yes or no, then I go with what the simple majority is.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
Okay.
So it depends. There are times people only get 3 minutes. There are times that they might get 6 minutes. It
Okay.
depends. All right. But I do always ask.
Okay.
And I look left or right and see what the council has to say.
Okay.
So that's how that goes.
So let me ask you, how are you holding the council together? I know you said you like working with your constituents. There is rumor on the internet going on that Councilwoman Yolanda Barber is censored or whatever. We also know about Councilman Alfonso Thomas, who suffered from his illness. How are you working with your constituents during these crisis times, and what does that look like behind closed doors for people who want to know? Did the mayor censor Councilwoman Yolanda Barber?
No. What happened is that a censor, well, first, simple majority.
Okay.
Simple majority is 3.
Okay.
Simple majority is 3. So if any council member was censored, there has to be at least 3 members of the council that want to do that and write it and get it written up by our attorneys. Okay.
Right.
So that's only 3.
Okay.
That's the thing that happens that way. So that's with anybody.
Okay.
That's to include me. That's with anybody.
Okay.
In reference to censoring. Now there have been legally, and it's public knowledge, there have been ethics complaints per se.
Okay.
All right. Now, those ethics complaints, it can be an individual have an ethics complaint against some other individual.
Okay.
That's just one-on-one.
Okay.
That doesn't deal with a censor. So I've had my censor. I've been had ethics complaints against me.
Okay.
All right. And I had to go before the ethics board and had to go have this discussion. But the point of it is, I have to tell you, even though I've gone before the board and it was had censors against me, they have not held any water. I have not been.
Okay.
I have not been identified by the board indicating that I did something wrong or illegally. Okay. Yeah, but there was an action that was taken. It was reviewed. And by the guidance that they had to go by, there was nothing that I did, so it had to be dropped.
Right.
You see, so now that has happened to me personally. I've seen it happen several times with other council members in this case.
Okay.
And so, but I will tell you, as an individual, as a mayor, either a council member, mayor pro tem, or a mayor, I personally have not requested or went before a census board and said, I want ethics board and said, one of my teammates has done some unethical and I want to put a ethics charge against him. I've not ever done that. And I would imagine I probably would never do that. I mean, that's just my style. This is what I'd rather try to have a conversation we can if we try to work it out.
Yes.
And if we can't work it out, we will figure out something else, I guess. But I've never personally done that with any of my teammates.
Okay.
And it has happened to me, but I personally have not done that to anybody else.
Your teammates. So you try to make sure that, I guess you're trying to make sure that you're fair and impartial and giving everyone a voice.
Yeah, best as I can, absolutely. I mean, I'm not perfect, but see, I think that is what the one of the jobs of the mayor, to be fair and impartial and not to take sides. Do I have an opinion? Sure, I have an opinion.
Okay.
But the point of it is that being the mayor or being considered the face of the city or being the leader in that aspect, I feel that I need to keep my level-headed.
Okay.
My hands on the table. I'm not hiding anything. You know what I mean? Being as truthful as possible and trying to get fair to every side as a debate.
Okay.
And by the way, by the charter, I don't even vote unless it's a tie.
Okay.
You see, I don't vote unless it's a tie. You see, now so now I'm in my 8th year being a mayor, I think I may have voted 4 or 5 times, maybe voted 4 or 5 times a time.
Okay.
I normally don't get a chance to vote because it hardly ever is a 2-2, and a tie means 2-2, 2 for and 2 against.
Right.
Abstentions don't count towards that. Abstentions just don't count toward that. So I don't vote very often, and that's part of what happens when you have the mayor's position. By our charter, in this case, you don't tie, so you don't vote.
Right.
Now, I do have, right now, I do have veto power,
Okay.
but only veto power over ordinances.
Yes.
And only veto power when it passes by 3 votes.
Okay.
If anything passes by 4 votes, even though I may have an opinion that I didn't particularly care for that, but it passed by 4 votes. No matter, my opinion doesn't matter. I mean, I can say something, but it won't change it.
Right.
So I mean,
Right.
so I do have a mind. I can speak on anything at any time.
Okay.
I can potentially speak to influence something one way or the other.
Okay.
But if an ordinance which is a law, if an ordinance passes by 3, I can potentially veto that, and again, I can be overruled with a 4th vote. For 4 votes. Okay. If an ordinance passes with 4 votes, no matter what I like it or not. And I can't change it.
Okay.
Now I have to sign it, but I can't change it.
Right. Right.
And I cannot, and by our charter, I cannot overrule a resolution.
Okay.
If it's a resolution,
Okay.
I have no say-so over resolution. If I need to vote on a resolution, fine. But if that comes to that point, but I can't overrule a resolution. I don't have that power to do that.
How has being a military veteran played a role in your leadership?
Well, I can tell you easily on that. It helps keep me calmer.
Okay.
All right, per se. I will tell you that's like anybody. I can get upset and mad too.
Yes.
I can. It's possible, but I try to maintain my composure because just like I'm speaking to you now,
Right.
I know that when I'm in front of the camera, when I'm in a council meeting, it's being recorded.
Yes.
And it's being recorded virtually. I mean, physically,
Yes,
you see it recorded
yes,
verbally as well as visually being recorded. So I personally want to. I realize that, and I'm personally trying to maintain my composure, whilst I don't get crazy on camera.
Okay.
You see what I mean? And take things personally in this aspect, and try to keep my head on a swivel per se.
Okay.
So I stay alert and keep up with because I got to try to watch the flow of everything as well.
Okay.
And to just kind of monitor and manage the thing as best as possible and be fair to my fellow teammates in reference to speaking and as best as possible.
Right.
And so it's not. Some people may think it's easy to do, but I would tell you, it's not as easy as some people may think.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's outrightly difficult. It's just the fact that you just have to be alert and move about and keep flowing. And
Right on.
there are times that people may have spoken, and one council member may not have yet spoken, and I'll go specifically to that council member and ask them, do you have any opinion? They may not say anything. Do you have an opinion? Ask them just in case.
Okay.
And then if they do, they speak. If they don't, we move on.
Okay.
You see, so I try to be fair with that, and it can be challenging from time to time. And I think my military career has helped me with that process of that aspect, of trying to be fair in that aspect, but also am trying to maintain my composure and not take things personally if something is aimed at me or something comes to me or something that I may not particularly care for,
Okay.
but maintain my composure in reference to a decision that's got to be made or comments that I have to make.
I
in reference
definitely
to that.
understand. Now, Fox 5 News, ABC, they reported that the city of Stockbridge overspent their budget $32 million. I believe it was 30,
Yes, that's that.
somewhere around there. What happened? How did that come about? You know, like we know cities set budgets. We know that people have things in place with. I believe you guys have 6, 7 on the council.
It's just 6 of us, 5 council members, and me makes 6.
So how did we get to the point? Because I see where the city manager Fred Gardner retired, quit.
Yeah, no, he left. He
He
left and went to Atlanta, joined Andre Dickens in Atlanta.
Okay. So he left. The amphitheater guy left.
Right. We had a treasurer. We had 2 treasurers that came and gone and left. Things of that nature. What I mentioned, I believe it before, is that what had happened is that funds were taken from one account and moved to a different account without the proper approval and presentation and approval of the council. Okay. When you have a set budget, and the budget for the amphitheater was not. The budget for our amphitheater was low. I guess operationally was low anyway. Too low.
Okay.
But we didn't catch that, didn't realize it was really too low.
Okay.
All right. So what it amounts to make, and this is all on the operational side per se, with all the things that go into operating an amphitheater, with all the acts that are coming in and all the amount of people that have to be employed to have the operating room, such as the back line, all the equipment that is necessary for the broadcast, the ushers, the caterers, the transportation piece for artists themselves, all that plays into the operational piece of the amphitheater. So the original budget we set was way too low than what should have been. So we did not totally understand it as a collective group. But regardless of that, there was money that was moved from point A, from one budget line to another budget line to help the operational piece of the amphitheater to move. And this 32 million plus you're talking about was over a couple year period.
So it didn't just happen this year.
No, it didn't. No, this happened. No, it's a couple year period in this aspect. But what has happened is that it was never brought officially to the council for official budget amendment for it to be explained to us, brought to us, and we say yay or nay. Move the money from point A to point B. That it happened once for $500,000 is really all that happened. But all the millions of dollars that was moved was not brought to us for our formal approval. That's where things didn't go right in that aspect. Now we made changes now that we've done with a new city. With not only a new city manager, but basically with a new treasurer that came in several months or so ago. We now made the adjustments here recently. We now made the proper adjustments and to the budget in this aspect, and now going forward, the thing that happened in the past won't happen again. We made those adjustments properly to make sure that it's not going to happen again.
Not going to happen again. Now, now does that 32 million fall on like the city manager, the trade? Who does it follow? Because we had some people quit, we had some people leave. Like who bears the burden?
Well, there are people that on the staff that have left, one reason or another have left. And it was up to the city manager presents the budget to the council. And so we the council in the last several years, and every year actually, we have passed the budget. We passed the budget based on the information that was brought to us. We passed the budget. So what it amounts to is that's the city manager's responsibility to do that. So, and it's also the city manager's responsibility to, if there are any adjustments to be made, to come back to the council with those particular adjustments or recommended for those adjustments. For the city manager, dealing with the financial director that handles the purse strings of that and his team of folks that will come before the council with the adjustment that is needed to operate and manage to operate the city. So what it amounts to once again is that money was moved from point A to point B. All right, but it was never officially brought to us in a public meeting. It would have been a public meeting. Brought to us in a public meeting for the proper adjustments for us to say yay or nay in reference to or question the movement of money. It was never brought to us officially. You're not going to see any public hearing or any documentation from a public meeting indicating that during the last couple of years when this occurred.
Okay.
Now, what we have done once again recently, publicly, here in the last within the last month, 6 weeks, is that we've made the proper adjustments necessary, to correct it, right? And we'll go forward, and this won't happen again.
Okay.
But during the time frame, it was not brought to us.
Okay.
I mean, that's the fact. It just was not brought to us. So no one, I would say, no one pocketed money or anything like that. It was just not moved. It was not properly moved from one place to another place and brought to us for our approval.
Okay, because we know, like in government, and I think this happens a lot. There's some tier systems where your county manager or somebody can write a check for $5,000 without it get approved by the board, and even on the county level, you can write checks for $49.99.95. And as long as it's under threshold. So is that one of the cases that happened,
Well, once again, it comes to the point. It comes to the point that you're talking about maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars in actions or things of this nature.
Okay.
And it was outside of the city manager's authority to do. It would be within my authority to do as a mayor, provided that it got approval from the council themselves. You see what happened? So if it's something outside the authority of the city manager and it has to be done, it has to be presented to the council in an open meeting.
Okay.
And then the council has to approve it, and then once they approve it, then as a mayor now, I would have authority to sign whatever I need to sign based on the presentation, based on the vote for at least 3 individuals saying, yes, do this, and then I'll have the funds are there, and then I have the clarity to sign off and make it happen.
Okay. Now,
so those things never happened like that.
They never happened.
That's why you got to see, because it never came before the council. It never came a yay or nay for the council, and then I never had an opportunity to sign off on anything because it was never brought to us for our approval.
Okay. Now, around that time, Vistar manager Harold Young.
I believe
he was the Vistar amphitheater manager. I'm sorry, Stockbridge amphitheater.
Yeah. He was our manager. Harold was the manager. Right.
He resigned during that time. Was there what was the discrepancy?
He was let go in June.
Okay.
In June.
Why was he let go, and what happened around that situation?
Well, when the amounts of things started coming to light, so we had to come loose. And things that came to light that there were some things that just weren't going right, so we had to cut them loose.
Okay.
In this aspect, and then of course there's other inquiries going on in reference to the whole operation itself.
Okay.
We made the adjustments, but there are still some other inquiries going on in how things were operated, how things were conducted.
Was that an adjustment made when the young man came to the podium and brought everything and asked for a
the individual made his public statement.
Okay.
But there were already things in motion to make some adjustments or get clarity on the mistakes that were made, get clarity by our current finance director, which is tighten up all the loose ends. And it made the right presentation. We made the right adjustments.
Man, most definitely. Now, looking at it, and I'm glad you answered that and cleared all of that up, because we don't want the rumors. We want it straight from the horse's mouth.
Okay.
We want to know exactly what's going on. Now, you also guys are preparing for FIFA, the FIFA soccer tournament coming to Atlanta. Here in the near future, and you guys are hit with a proposal to bring a soccer field.
Yeah, we are. We're working through that process.
Tell us about that. What does that look like?
Well, it looks promising, very promising. Actually, we have the land, and we've been talking with the FIFA over this the soccer organization that's in the South Crescent area to make this work. So we just we had to put some initial seed money down or have to authorize that and to get this going. And we want to try to get this before we get this big soccer tournament next summer here in Atlanta.
Right.
So we want to get, and we don't realize that soccer is a big time sport.
Yes, it
right
is.
Here in the South Metro area as well.
Okay.
And this land that we have is right off of Eagles Landing. So it's off right for Eagles Landing. So we're working to get a couple soccer fields and infrastructure for that, and kind of make a soccer fields and also a park simultaneously as well.
Okay.
But we're working through that process now. We're in the infant stages of making these moves.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll be able to tighten all the loose ends up here shortly and get it going. But I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot about that.
Right.
We are making progress on this, and it's something we'd like to do.
Okay. And what benefits does that bring to the city of Stockbridge playing into the World Cup and kind of like being a hub for those teams to practice? I mean,
economic developments are always about economic development and bringing potential teams, professional teams, down here to practice. in our field down here versus going anywhere else or jockeying for position somewhere else in the Atlanta metro area. If we have something down here that they can come to, we want them to come on down this way. And of course, if they come this way, then that means they will spend money down here, whether it's a hotel, restaurant, whatever the case may be. They will spend money as well. And then of course, we want to have it long term, have it for our own community. Whereas that we have folks that in our particular communities can utilize this soccer field as well. I realize there are some other soccer fields around, but we have an opportunity to build one here and draw a different type of clientele here as well. So that's what we're trying to do.
And now, how does that play into the youth council that you're building and creating opportunity for the youth and resources for the youth? Bringing accessibility to soccer fields, accessibility to the resources that Stockbridge is bringing in. Because I saw you swearing in the youth council, and I mean, it's phenomenal to know that you have a vision for building future leaders.
Well, absolutely. So what it amounts to is just opportunities for them, and the long-term thing is that the youth are here. The youth eventually go off to the military, come back, go off to college, come back, or they'll find a career some type in some public service or business, or become an electrician or plumber, whatever the case may be. But the point of it is live, work, and play concept. So the kids are here, so we want to make sure that we make it comfortable for them and make it worthwhile for them. So as they get older and they want to establish a family, they want to establish a family right here in the same community where they grew up, and try to keep it here, keep families here. And so otherwise, that's what's part of the economic piece here with the mixed-use development, with the growing economy, with the certain options for homes, condos or townhomes or apartments, have something worthwhile commercially and also entertainment wise, and in this aspect to young folks as they get older and they get educated and get into the careers and raise families. We want them still to remain in the particular community, because a lot of times what happens is they leave, don't want to come back because they say there's nothing here for me. So we want to try to make what we can best for them in a particular area itself, and have them come in. Just like I have a 29-year-old who lives here and also grew up here, went to high school, college here, right? But the point is, I want her to stay around the area as well, and not go to Midtown or Buckhead or what. I said, wait a minute, we got options right here. Well, that ain't a whole lot happening. Well, we're working on it. We're working on it right now. So you can maintain and stay here in this aspect and raise your family here. So that's part of the process to try to accommodate activities and things for our youth, our young adults to remain in the area, as well as for older citizens, more seasoned citizens, as well when it comes to even senior services and or senior type of living and housing, because there is going to be several different senior living apartments at Ridge Jolico as well for our seniors.
Most definitely. Now, what is Stockbridge doing to attract the millennial generation, that generation between 21 and 35?
Well, I mean, once again, having a particular entertainment, the amphitheater, trying to grow up the downtown area, things that we're trying to develop in Ridge Jolico as well, and then have those specific housing options that they can afford. Afford to live in this aspect as well. So that's part of the process, and then have a virtual enough of a city type of events and activities across the board. Initiatives some our council members, myself and our council members have to attract folks as well. But try to make the overall infrastructure of the community great. And a lot of people are really attracted, of course, by having a safe community. So otherwise, funding and financing and outfitting our police department and make them equipped for everything they need to protect and serve, because people want to live in a safe community. So they're part of the process in this aspect to try to house them or give them what they need to do their jobs more effectively, and so other people feel comfortable of living here because they know they're well protected. We have a great police department that's engaged with them and looking to keep them safe. And then, of course, when it comes to infrastructure, that deals with our public works department and have them properly manned and operating and doing what they need to do to keep our infrastructure proper, right away clean, the road infrastructure done well, sanitation piece taken care of, things of that nature. So it's all part of the overall process for service for our community. And but before we go, I know we talked a lot about the economic development. We talked a lot about the infrastructure. We talked about improving traffic and improving transportation in Henry County and just improving quality of life.
the beautification of Stockbridge. What does
Yes.
that look like? I mean, what does the beautification moving forward look like?
Well, we have several different. Well, our public works department deals with that also on one level when it comes to the right-of-way management and road structure, things of that nature. But also we have certain initiatives, even Pacific Council initiatives that work on the beautification of the city itself. And then outside of that, once again, the public works department has those responsibilities to do that and to try to keep things and the areas in which we have our interstates, and when you come off the interstate, or beautification within our particular road network, and of course, open dialogue. If the citizens feel that something's not taken care of, they should let us know. They can go on See Click Fix, let us know some maintenance issues or problems are going on, or they can make an appointment with myself, any other council member, the city manager, about something they have a concern about, and then we'll take a look at that and see what we can do to tighten it up.
Man, that is awesome. That is awesome, man. Stockbridge for Community Connects.
Yeah, Community Connects, absolutely.
Man. Now, last but not least, you guys have I know we just talked about the beautification initiative. You had something about where you're attracting businesses and helping businesses develop. Like, what type of program is in place to help businesses grow? Is there like a funding program in place?
I have to. We got a facade grant program for businesses that are in the downtown area, along the downtown area, and like a Main Street area there. But what I have to connect you with our economic director, which is Gerald Sanders, and he along with the DDA, or even parts of the citywide development authority, would have some type of incentives that they should be able to offer those businesses overall in reference to their growth and what they're looking for. So it'd be the economic director office, which is located right there in the heart of downtown. Okay. And then, of course, on Martin Luther King Senior Heritage Trail. And then our DDA, Downtown Development Authority, actually, when they have the meetings, they're housed in that building. And then we also have a citywide development authority as well, and we also have a Main Street too as well.
Yes. Main Street
so looking at all those particular agencies and the opportunities that could come up for economic development and for businesses to get particular incentives be worked out through those particular organizations, those committees.
Awesome. How is and I know Councilman Alfonso Thomas. Now, how is he doing?
Well, as far as I know, he's hanging in there. He's still in. Unfortunately, he's from my understanding, he's still in rehab. See, so I haven't seen him, talk to him in a while. But we keep him in prayer for a speedy recovery. And hopefully things are going well for him.
Will we see that seat filled, or is it?
Here's the thing. This publication is this week. So that is District 2. My understanding is that. I had to qualify in person, I qualified in person. So I would think that would be the process to adhere to. So I don't know what has happened thus far because I haven't been. Actually, today is Wednesday, so I haven't been to City Hall today. But the point of it is that. There are individuals that are vying for that particular seat. Whether or not he's capable or willing to or plans to run again, I can't answer that question. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But I wish him well in his recovery for his health.
Awesome. And what does the downtown historic district of Stockbridge mean to you as a mayor?
Well, actually, I tell you, I have not mentioned it yet in our conversation, but the whole city means a lot to me as a mayor because it's the ancestral home of the King family. And because of that, and whether it's Martin Luther King Sr. In this aspect, but the fact that Martin Luther King Jr. is a very popular civil rights activist. And when you think about the King family, you think about Atlanta, Georgia, which is absolutely fine, but it all started right here in Stockbridge. And by Martin Luther King Jr. being a man of Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated, I feel really proud of that because I'm also a member of the same fraternity. And the fact by being the first African American mayor of the city, even though I knew that before I ran, about the ancestral home of the King family wasn't the reason why I ran in the first place. I wanted to be of service to the community in which I lived. So the whole aspect of not only downtown, the whole aspect of the entire city itself is important to me. And I would say important to you, my teammates, in reference to how we jointly come together to build and be aggressive and progressive on this growth and expanding the community and really make good progress here in this aspect all the way around. and make it the best living environment for citizens to work, live, and play,
Yes.
and be proud to be a citizen of Stockbridge, citizen of Henry County, and of course citizens of Georgia.
Okay.
I have to admit I'm not originally from here, but regardless of that, this is my home now.
Right.
I'm pretty sure this will be where I remain the rest of my living days.
Yes.
So I like to make it as best as possible with the help of my teammates and the help of listening to citizens on your concerns and what you want to see happen and things that keep you motivated or find out what makes you want to continue to live here, work here, and play here.
Yes.
What is it that we need to do to satisfy that requirement? So it's just not the downtown area. It's the downtown area. It's a Bridge Jolico. It's the entire city itself.
Yes.
And I will say to you that as time goes on, we'll continue to progress on that and grow on that.
Okay.
But we got to have smart growth in this aspect as well, and to cover down on our services for the citizenry to put us in office and make sure that we do the right thing simultaneously as well.
Awesome, man. We want to thank you for taking the time out to come on this show. Anything you would like to share with our audience before you leave? I know election is November 4th. Anything you would like to share with our audience?
Well, since you said that, I need the audience's support, and I'd like to receive 4 more years of being the mayor of the city. But proud of you citizens that say that you would want me to do that and give me the opportunity to do that, and I won't let you down. That's my intent. But outside of that, I would tell you it's great to be here with you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And to be on this broadcast and to share things that are going on with the city of Stockbridge, that's going on with me personally, as well as the fact that I believe in Stockbridge. I believe we have a bright future together, and that's the intent. And I plan to be around.
Yes.
I like Senator. I have no intention of going anywhere.
Yes.
I'm going to be around, and I just want to be around with you all, and everybody else as well. And continue to prosper and live and do great things jointly. And it's a team effort. It's not about me. It's about us together.
Right.
It's about us working together and having an understanding to build a future together.
Okay.
And it takes a team effort to do that. And you always hear from me about team effort.
Yes.
Working together. I know it. I can't do it by myself.
Yes.
And I know I have to listen. And I know that it's more worthwhile when we put it all our thoughts together and continue to move forward. You see, so I'm willing to work and try to assist and make things happen as best as possible, and keep it going. Keep improving.
Awesome, man. I mean, you're definitely forward focused.
Thank you for appreciating it.
I like that cliche, man. And shout out, man. Just for the record, and the audience don't know, this is my birthday brother. We're both born on April 20th.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Our moms and dad had the same vision. So shout out to our birthdays, man. 420, man. Shout out to Green Front Cafe. Shout out to phenomenal restaurant.
Yeah, I went there just a couple days ago. Matter of fact,
Okay.
had a great burger.
Yes,
yeah, fantastic.
Yes, Miss Diane Miller and her family doing great things. Frozen Smoke, all those restaurants down there. Shout out to the Pulp Clinic, Dr. Colmack, chiropractic. Make sure you guys go down there and visit. And also a huge shout out to A New Well. You guys were there at A New Well.
Oh, absolutely.
Ribbon cutting.
Right.
Shout out to A New Well, Ms. Rhonda Crockett, and the great things she's doing with in an adult daycare center dealing with IDD. And all those phenomenal businesses that make up, all those phenomenal small businesses that make up the city of Stockbridge. Where you guys can live up to where community connects.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Game Changers Magazine, Game Changers Media Network, Voices of the Village podcast, where change starts with conversation. This is my conversation with Mayor Anthony Ford.
Justice and peace and equality. Now the world they will see. That's why